First of all, I don't like shooting with my hair because I just hate it. I am like honestly at a point in my life where I just hate my hair, but that's okay. We'll move past it. Anyway, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much, guys, for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, for liking, for commenting. Guys, please just like, if you watch my video and you feel like you like it, just click on like the thumbs up button, because that like helps me to like get more viewers and more like subscribers. So if you guys like comment and like subscribe and like and just like, I would really appreciate it so much. Thank you. So welcome back to my channel. Returning subscribers, thank you. First time watchers, please do subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Returning watchers but haven't subscribed, darling, what are you waiting for? Click the subscribe button. Let's become friends. Let's become a family. Let's like just be part of being Kelly. So as you probably could have told from the title of the video, I just thought let me do a video of like the top 5 things, not really the top 5 things, but the 5 things that I mostly think you should be considering or doing in your 30s. I wanted to do a video like this last year because a lot of people were like, I was born in January, number 1. So amongst all my friends, definitely amongst all my friends, except for the ones that were born before 1990, I was the first one to turn 30. So everyone was like, I know they said it in a jokingly way, like, oh, how are the 30s? Oh my goodness, how is adulting in the 30s and whatnot. And when I turned 30, I was like, this still feels like I'm 25. It still felt like, honestly, it felt like I was 25. It didn't feel anything like, I didn't feel anything new or anything has changed. But now I've recently turned 31 and I can fully say that I have lived a full year in my 30s, and I think I have a peanut size opinion or a peanut size knowledge or peanut size wisdom on what it feels like to be in your 30s. So hence I'm doing this video where I'm going to discuss the 5 things that I mostly think that you should consider, or you should consider in your 30s. Let's get on to the video. So the first thing that I think you should be considering or you should do in your 30s is mastering your craft. I feel like your 20s were there for you to figure out what you want to do, just test out everything and, you know, like try and find your way. And then by the time you like turn 30, you sort of know what you want. If you don't know what you want by now, it's okay. Like, life has not been structured in a way that things should be done in a certain way or else it won't be done. Everyone has their own path, and it's so important to follow your own path. But I just feel like if you are now in your 30s and you already know what you want, now it's the right time to master your craft. How do you do that? If you figured out that you want to be a fashion designer, study, follow other fashion designers on social media, on LinkedIn or wherever fashion designers find each other. Like, go to a fashion designing school, watch fashion designing videos, do whatever you can to master this craft that you have, or to master or to grow the seed that you have in you, to turn it into a full tree, basically. So now is the time to like be a master, be the jack of one trade and the master of that trade, if that makes sense. Like, now is the time to focus on your craft, to do whatever that you can. If you need to study, if you want a new career, or you have been studying towards a new career, or you have been looking for jobs towards a certain career in your 20s, now it's the time. If you now know, okay, I want to be a brand manager, how do I now start mastering this craft of being a brand manager? You study, if you haven't, you enroll for certificates or whatever that will get you to that point. One way to find out or to figure out which path to take to get to the point that you want to go to is to follow the people that are already doing what you want to become. If you want to be a brand manager for a big company like Coca-Cola, look for the brand manager for Coca-Cola's brand manager, follow them on LinkedIn, check the steps that they went through in order to become where they become, check what they've studied or the type of jobs that they studied at, apply for those type of jobs, do everything that you feel will take you up to that point where you want to be. So pointer number 1, master your craft, become the jack of that trade and the master of that trade. Number 2, and the reason why I've put this in number 2 is because it sort of complements the first one. Be flexible. Be flexible / be open-minded. What does this mean? It means be more receptive to new ways of doing things, because most probably if you have been fighting for the same goal since your 20s and you're in your 30s and you haven't reached where you wanted to be, it's probably because some of the things that you're doing are not quite right, or maybe you just need to do more. Whatever the case may be open-minded to trying out new things. This also relates to the fact that I said if you want to be like a brand manager, follow brand managers and see what they've done. So if they have done something that you haven't done before or you haven't thought about doing, be open-minded, like be receptive to new things. Basically, try out new things. Maybe that new thing will get you to where you want to be. So be open-minded. Same thing if in your 30s you want to be in a serious relationship, or you are hoping to be in a relationship that will produce something like marriage in the future or kids or whatever the case may be. Be open-minded. Don't do the same thing that you've been doing in your 20s and hoping for different results in your 30s. It's not going to work. The only difference between you in your 20s and you in your 30s is just the fact that you are different year older, but the world still works the same way. So if you have been planting your seed in water in your 20s and your tree did not grow, don't plant the seed again in water in your 30s. That tree is not going to grow just because you're 30. Plant it in soil, water it, put some manure in it, like whatever the case may be. Do it differently. Be open-minded to doing things differently, and therefore you will receive different results. So I will say that again. Don't do things the same way that you've been doing in your 20s and hoping to get different results from the ones that you've been getting in your 20s. So this means that if you do things differently in your 30s, there's like a higher chance of the results being different or being better than what you received in your 20s. So that is number 2. Be open-minded, be flexible. Number 3, we are at number 3, is get your credit right, get your finances right. This is probably, if not the first amongst top 2 or top 3 of the things to get right in your 30s. I feel like if you have gotten it right in your 20s, kudos to you. But listen, we all know when you get your job in your 20s and you're like splurging and spending and whatnot, you sort of make financial decisions that don't make sense. You might not find yourself in debt, to be specific, but you might find yourself in a place where you haven't saved enough, or you haven't figured out the whole idea of saving and investing, which is so important. The reason why I feel like you need to get this right in your 30s is because I feel like your 30s sort of prepare you for your 40s, 50s, and therefore retirement. So if you can start, if there's a time to start, it's in your 30s. Don't focus, like if you focused on it in your 20s, kudos. But enjoy your 20s. Like enjoy your 20s, enjoy your salary, do the things that you've always wanted to do, buy the things that you've always wanted to buy. But in your 30s, like buy responsibly. I don't know if that makes sense. Buy responsibly and get your credit right, which is something that I'm also working on. Like get your credit right, pay for the things that need to be paid for. You realize that you don't need to get, honestly, you don't need to get credit on everything. We're so lucky because we live in the days of like laybys and you can use that. You can use that as a way of saving, or as a way of like controlling your finances. You don't need to like just splurge and buy just because you need to buy. So I feel like 30s are the year where you need to get your finances straight. Not only finances, actually, let me just broaden this up. 30s are a year that you need to strengthen your finances, strengthen your relationships, strengthen your friendships, strengthen your faith, strengthen your career, like every aspect of your life. I feel like your 30s is that year that you need to sort of perfect it and shape it into how you would want to be, or how you would want it to fall out when it comes to the rest of the years ahead. I honestly hope I'm making sense. If I'm not making sense, comment down below. Write a comment down below. If I'm not making sense. Even if I'm making sense, let's engage, let's talk about it. So yeah, besides it being like being financially working out your finances, or making sure that your finances are right, I feel like your 30s is a place or an age where you now need to sort of perfect every other aspect in your life. And I know right now it might seem like it's so difficult because I'm using words like perfect or strengthen, and they seem so out of reach, or it seems like it's a lot of work or just hard work. Just like, how do I perfect my finances? How do I perfect my relationships? How do I perfect my friendships? How do I perfect? But the fact that you are in your 30s comes with a certain maturity, and that maturity is what makes it easy for you. My battery died, and I don't know how far I was with everything, but basically in your 30s, get your shit together. Oh, I was talking about maturity and how everything sort of goes, like aligns when you have a certain point of maturity, which is what happens every single year, which is why fixing or perfecting or getting your finances, your relationships, your friendships, and your career right in your 30s definitely will be much easier than it was in your 20s. So it might feel like I'm saying the impossible, but trust me, it is possible and it will happen. And then number 4 is have something valuable to say. I know it sounds like what, but I thought about this and I was like, I'm definitely going to include this here, because the things that we say, guys, the things that I used to say when I was in my 20s. And you know how I know this? Like, I have friends that I was friends with in my like early 20s or when I was 19 or whatever, and then we sometimes talk, and when we talk, because subconsciously we are both still in a coming from that point in our life, so we're trying to conversate or have conversations that way, and it's yo even when I'm like reminiscing on the old times, I'm like, why would I? But anyway, the reason why I say have something valuable to say is because, like I said, and it also relates to every other pointers that I've said, your 30s are a point in your life where you perfect your life. I'll just put it like that. That in your 30s, that's where you perfect your life, and it sets the tone. It sets the tone on how your life is going to be in the coming years, in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, or whatever. So having something valuable to say does not only mean like having an interesting conversation with just your circle. I'm talking about in your career, in your relationships, in your friendships, in every aspect of your life. Learn to have something valuable to say. You will be interesting to the right people. It will help you open the right doors. It will help you develop the right relationships. So have something valuable to say. Don't know everything, but know a bit of everything, enough to hold your own in a conversation, enough to hold your own in a professional space, or enough to leave an impression on other people, so that they are able to consider you when it comes to business opportunities, when it comes to career opportunities, when it comes to relationship opportunities, whatever the case may be. Last and definitely not least, my favorite one is live your dream. There is no better age than your 30s to live your dream. I mean, you've spent your younger age just like thinking, oh, when I grow up I might be this, when I grow up I might be that, and in your 20s you're like, okay, I'm certain this is what I want to do, let me go to school, or let me find a job, whatever. Like, you are working so hard to get to a certain point in your life, and now in your 30s, like, what now? Live your dream. This is the time that you live your life with intention. You might have not gotten to a point where you've always envisioned yourself to be. Obviously in your 30s you will not be at your peak. If you are at your peak, then you are not dreaming further than what you've dreamed before. You are now, if you have accomplished what you wanted to accomplish, you have now realized, you know what, the sky is not the limit. I can go beyond the stars, I can go beyond the sun. Basically the universe is my playground. So in your 30s is the right time for you to live your dream, to do what you've always wanted to do, be the person that you've always wanted to become, live your life with intention. Wake up in the morning and think to yourself, what would the Kelly that I've always wanted to become do? Is she gonna start off with breakfast, or is she gonna start off with having a shower? Like, live your dream, do the things you've always wanted to do. If you can afford to travel and you've always wanted to travel. If you've always wanted to be in a relationship, be in a relationship, go out there, meet people, go on dates. If you've always wanted to start a family, plan on starting a family, like, this is the right time for you to live your dream. So that's it for today's video, and I hope more than anything you guys took away the message that I was trying to let out there. It was just me discussing the top 5 things that I feel like in your 30s you should be considering. And yeah, there's probably more things that I should consider, things that maybe I didn't feel like I want to put in the video or I am unaware of. What you can do to help me is to comment down on the section below and let me know what other things, whether you're in your 20s or in your 30s, your 40s, or whatever the case may be. If you haven't turned 30 yet, you are well on your way to turning 30. So this is a conversation that you need to have. If you have turned 30 and you're in your 40s, advise us. Like, we are here to learn. Even if you're in your late 30s, like, we're here to learn, basically. So I'll see you guys on the comment section down below. Remember, if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button. If you have, thank you so much. Give this video a thumbs up, comment, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.